Imagine an island, seen from above. At first, it appears as a mere speck in the vast expanse of the ocean, but as you draw closer, it resolves into a perfect emerald, a jewel of green, fringed with brilliant white sand. It's set within a sea of impossible blue, a mesmerizing gradient that shifts from the deepest sapphire of the open water to the luminous turquoise of the shallow lagoons. Surrounding the island is a complex network of coral reefs, a natural fortress that is both breathtakingly beautiful and treacherous. On the outer edges, powerful waves crash relentlessly, sending plumes of white spray into the air. But inside this protective barrier, the water is calm. Here, the waves whisper as they lap gently against the pristine, untouched beaches. From the shore, the jungle rises like a solid wall. Tall, ancient trees, draped in vines and moss, interlock their branches to form a canopy so thick and unbroken that it completely swallows the sunlight. This dense green roof conceals a world hidden from our own, a place that has remained unseen and undisturbed for millennia. Even from a distance you can almost feel the air, warm, heavy, and humid, thick with the scent of salt, damp earth, and blooming flowers you can't name. The silence of the open sea gives way to a vibrant alien symphony. The calls of strange, unseen birds echo from the deep jungle, punctuated by the hum of insects and the rustle of life, moving just beyond sight. But beneath this veneer of paradise, there is something else. A palpable feeling that settles in your bones. It's more than just the wildness of the place. It's a distinct and unnerving sense that you are an intruder, that you are not welcome here. This is a place where the very landscape seems to hold its breath as you pass. Every shadow stretching from the tree line feels like a pair of watching eyes, and every sudden rustle in the undergrowth is not just the wind, but a clear, unambiguous warning. Turn back. This forbidden shore belongs to North Sentinel Island. It is one of the last truly isolated places on Earth. Located in the Bay of Bengal, it is officially part of India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands, yet it exists a world apart. A remote, sovereign pocket of humanity that has rejected contact with the outside world for tens of thousands of years. The people who live here are known as the Sentinelese. We do not know what they call themselves. We know almost nothing about their language. We know almost nothing about their beliefs. We know almost nothing about their customs. They are one of the most isolated tribes on Earth. They are a ghost story, made real. From the few distant photographs and brief, often hostile encounters, we have pieced together a faint picture of who they are. They are a small tribe, perhaps 50 to 150 individuals. They are the sole guardians of their world. They live in a world without metal, without modern agriculture, without the internet. Their existence is a testament to human resilience. What does a day look like for the Sentinelese? It begins with the sun rising over the Bay of Bengal. The community stirs. Small groups likely head out to gather food. Some men might take their narrow outrigger canoes into the calm lagoons, armed with harpoons or bows, to catch fish swimming in the clear water. They paddle with a skill born from a lifetime on the sea, reading the currents and the tides as easily as we might read a book. Others, perhaps women and children, would venture into the dense jungle. They know which plants are good to eat, which roots can be dug up, which fruits are ripe for picking. They might gather wild honey, a sweet and precious treat. The skills of the Sentinelese are not found in books or taught in schools. They are written in the land itself and learned through a lifetime of practice. Their most famous skill, mastery of the bow and arrow. Incredibly accurate archers from a great distance, they can fire a volley of arrows with stunning precision. These are not toys. They are deadly weapons capable of piercing a human body. Their arrows are their first and last line of defense. Master boat builders, skilled navigators. Canoes, very narrow, designed for calm, shallow waters inside the reef, not built for the open ocean. Propelled and steered with a long pole, like a punt. Everything they need is within their small world. There is a line around North Sentinel Island, a perimeter that exists more in the mind than on any map. You won't find it marked by buoys bobbing in the turquoise water, nor by fences cutting through the dense jungle. It is an invisible boundary, a concept as powerful and real as any physical wall, drawn not with ink, but with intention. It is a demarcation between two worlds that have chosen not to meet. This line is drawn in the shifting tides, on the sun-bleached sand, and in the watchful eyes of its guardians. To the Sentinelese, this line is absolute. It is the sacred edge of their existence, a perimeter they have patrolled for countless generations. This line marks the edge of their known world, the boundary between sanctuary and threat. To cross it, uninvited, is not a simple trespass. It is perceived as an act of aggression, a profound violation of their sovereignty and their home. For millennia, they have defended this boundary with unwavering resolve. Their response to intrusion is not born of random hostility, but of a deep-seated, historical understanding that outsiders often bring danger. Their bows and arrows are the tools of their independence, the ultimate expression of their desire to be left alone. In modern times, this ancient, unwritten rule has been formalized. Recognizing the unique and vulnerable position of the Sentinelese, the Indian government has established a legal exclusion zone. A map of the Andaman Islands now shows a clear circle of protection drawn around North Sentinel. It is illegal for anyone, tourists, fishermen, researchers, or missionaries, to travel within 3 nautical miles of its shore. This is not a suggestion, it is the law, and this law serves a dual purpose. While it protects outsiders from a potentially fatal encounter, its primary function is to shield the Sentinels from us, to protect them from diseases to which they have no immunity, from the disruption of their ancient culture, and from the pressures of a world they have consistently rejected. The invisible line, once only visible to those who guarded it, has now been made official, etched into maritime law. This legal boundary is more than just a line on a chart. It is a rare and profound admission by the modern world, a legal recognition of their right to be left alone. Despite the clear dangers and official prohibitions, the allure of North Sentinel Island has proven too strong for some to resist. Over the years, a handful of outsiders have chosen to ignore the warnings, driven by scientific curiosity, misplaced missionary zeal, or simple tragic naivety, testing the unwavering resolve of the Sentinelese to remain isolated. One of the most well-documented cases happened in 1974. A film crew from National Geographic, accompanied by a team of anthropologists, arrived as part of a project to film a documentary. Their mission was ambitious: to establish the first friendly contact and bridge the gap that had separated the Sentinelese from the rest of the world for millennia. Anchoring their boat just beyond the reef, the team initiated their outreach. The gifts they chose were carefully considered. A collection of coconuts and a live pig were familiar offerings, used with other Andamanese tribes, but they also brought a plastic doll and a miniature toy car, items completely alien to the islanders' world. The hope was to demonstrate peaceful intentions through these offerings. As the crew watched from their boat, a group of Sentinelese warriors emerged from the dense jungle tree line. Their response was not one of curiosity, but of immediate hostility. After a volley of what the crew interpreted as warning shouts, one warrior stepped forward, raised his bow, and took aim. The arrow, tipped with salvaged iron, flew true, striking the film's director in the thigh. The message was unmistakable. The injured director was quickly pulled back, and the crew made a hasty retreat. But what happened next was perhaps even more telling. From a distance, the crew observed the islanders' reaction to the gifts. They performed a strange ritual, burying the doll and the toy car in the sand, as if they were laying a body to rest. The pig was speared, and also buried, rejected as an offering. Of all the items left, only the coconuts were taken. It was a powerful and symbolic communication. They would accept what was natural and familiar, but decisively reject the foreign artifacts of the outside world. The story does not end in 1974. In 2006, 2 fishermen drifted too close while sleeping. They had crossed the invisible line. They paid for this mistake with their lives. The Sentinelese warriors killed both men. A helicopter sent to retrieve the bodies was driven off by arrows. The bodies were never recovered. In 2018, John Allen Chow illegally traveled to the island. He believed it was his mission to convert the Sentinelese. He paid fishermen, ignoring laws and warnings. He knew the risks, yet pressed on. He approached the tribe. He approached the tribe. He approached the tribe. On his final attempt, he was killed. His body was never recovered. Why is it so important to leave the Sentinelese alone? The answer lies in science, history, and basic human respect. Science, history, basic human respect. They lack immunity to our diseases. Contact could lead to extinction. Their isolation is their shield. Around the globe, disease, violence, and cultural destruction have followed in the wake of discovery. They resisted and survived. So we are left with a choice, treat it as a frontier to conquer, or a sanctuary to respect. Remember the invisible line in the sand. Remember the warnings written in their arrows. This is one journey you must not take. This is one tribe you are not allowed to visit. And that is for the best, for their sake, and for ours.